Hey, are you a high achiever who struggles with perfectionism? Do you get stuck in the cycle of overthinking? Do you do everything for everyone else because you think otherwise it won't get done? Do you feel like you should come with a disclaimer? Hi, I'm anxious. Hey, I'm Katy. Full disclosure, I'm not a therapist, doctor, or mental health professional. I'm just a career mama who also struggles with anxiety. For me, anxiety reared its head at the most inconvenient times when I wanted to be present with my family, at those high pressure business meetings, when I was laying in bed awake at night worrying instead of sleeping. I just wanted to relax and be able to have fun, and I know that you do too. What if you found tools to manage your anxiety? What if you knew how to enjoy life even though you are anxious? Look, it's time to put down that third cup of coffee and swap it for some lemon water. We're going to get control over anxiety so it can stop controlling you. Let's go, girl. Sweet anxious high achiever, thanks so much for spending time with me today. I'm so glad that you are joining me for this third episode in a series about overthinking, which is something that I know you as an anxious high achiever are no stranger to. Now, if you haven't already listened to episodes 111 and 112, go back and do that. As usual, my episodes are typically short and sweet and to the point and very actionable. So I want you to go back and listen to those and do the homework before you come to this episode. And if you've already done that, let's dive in to next steps on getting through overthinking. So last week's assignment had to do with collecting data on overthinking. What time of day is it coming up for you, or when? Where are you when this is happening? What else is going on? And what are you thinking about? So I want you to spend some time this week doing a deep dive on that data. And I think this is something that your mind might really enjoy diving into as a high achiever. I'm guessing that you, like me, enjoy data, you enjoy intellectualizing things, and this is a good chance to do that. Make sure that it doesn't turn into overthinking about overthinking, but do pay attention to what you've learned about going through the exercise of paying attention to when it's coming up for you, where you are, and what it's about. So notice any patterns. Was there a specific time of day that overthinking came up for you more than others? Maybe a day of the week. Pay attention to that. Did it tend to be mornings? Do you wake up at 2 a.m. and start catastrophizing and overthinking? Is that when it comes up for you? That is something that I have personally struggled with, so it's an easy example for me to rattle off for you. But I want you to spend some time paying attention to any patterns around time of day where this is coming up for you, and maybe even day of the week if that matters. Is it a work day, a non-work day, a weekend day, a day where you have a lot of activities going on, maybe a day where you've got nothing scheduled and nothing planned? Pay attention to this. And then I want you to think about what that means for you. Like I mentioned, maybe it comes up on Saturdays for you, and Saturdays are a day where you tend not to schedule things. Maybe you need something scheduled to help give your brain something to do to avoid overthinking. Just be thinking about this. I want you to do your best with today's exercise to just stay open and stay curious. Don't jump into beating yourself up, but do be curious. Oh, isn't that interesting? I notice that overthinking tends to come up for me when I wake up at 2 a.m. and I'm no longer able to sleep. Isn't that interesting? And I want you to also notice, maybe, is there a place where you are where it tends to be problematic? Are you driving in your car alone? Are you making dinner and there's chaos going on around you while you're trying to get that done? Are you at work in the midst of back to back meetings? Pay attention to physical location and maybe other things surrounding that, and when your overthinking is coming up. And then finally, also, notice what you are overthinking about. And if you can, correlate that to time and location. Is there a specific topic? Is there a very specific issue? Is there some particular incident that occurred that you're overthinking about lately? Just notice this. Do as much noticing as you can. And I think it really helps to process this if you sit down and write it out. I like to use a Google Doc. Maybe you're a pen and paper gal. Whatever works for you, use your tool that you're comfortable with, and just start writing down the things that you notice. Oh, I noticed that I jotted down 6 times when overthinking came up for me around 3 p.m. while I was at work. Isn't that interesting? And then take it a step further. Well, what's typically going on at 3 p.m.? Maybe it's you're hitting that afternoon slump, you didn't eat an adequate lunch, and so there's something maybe you can do around diet in future. So don't kill yourself with this, but just be as curious and open as you can. I wonder why. I wonder why that is. Isn't that interesting? What else is going on around this? I noticed that for me, for a period of time, I was getting so busy that I was just not eating adequately during the day. So, in the example I just gave, this late afternoon slump would come over me where I had a lot left to do in the day, but I'd start spinning about things and struggling to take action. And when I remedied that by just adding in a little bit more healthy food, focusing on protein, I was able to make it through the day easier. So, this is just all about curiosity this week. This is all about wondering. Isn't that interesting? I'd like you to repeat that to yourself when you're tempted to do anything but just be open to what it is that you're seeing and noticing. Okay, sweet soul. I can't wait to hear more from you about how this is going for you. If you're not already a member of my free Facebook group, please come and join. The link to join is in the show notes. It's an incredible community full of high achievers just like you. We'd love to hear from you in that group. I'd love to hear from you how this homework is going for you. I'd love to hear if there's any wonderings or noticings that you have. I'd love to hear if you want a partner to bounce things off of and maybe work together on. Again, it's an incredible community. The link to join is in the show notes. We'd love to have you there. Thanks so much for joining me this week, and I can't wait to talk with you next week because stay tuned. We're going to continue the series on overthinking so we can help you get through that, sweet anxious soul. Take care. Hey friend, thanks for being here. Did today's episode help you feel more in control of your anxiety? Did it inspire you to rest or relax? Or maybe it challenged you to really look at why anxiety is a part of your life. If so, I'd love to hear from you. If you would take 30 seconds, pause this episode, scroll down in Apple Podcasts, and leave me a review, I would be so grateful. See you next week. Disclaimer, I am not a medical professional and this podcast is not providing therapy or medical treatment. Contents of the podcast are for informational purposes only and are not a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. Always consult your healthcare provider with your health questions and concerns.